Welcome to Movie Recall. In today's video, we will be going through the 2023 movie A Picture of Her. It's time to recall, let's get started, turn on subtitles, and spoilers ahead. The movie starts and we see a man called Captain Mark and a girl named Beth, who is also his daughter, on their boat, and as they chat, the scene changes to a boy named Jake who receives a call from a woman named Janice. She goes on to tell him about a man sitting in front of her at a diner and that the man seems to be cheating on his wife because he is on a date with another woman. Jake right away gets there with his camera, and as he takes pictures with his camera hidden, another photographer shows up. His name is JPEG, and he starts to take their pictures openly. The long-haired guy who is cheating on his wife sees that there are people taking his pictures in the act. He and the girl get up and go away. Jake thanks Janice for the tip and leaves as he now has enough pictures to start a scandal, as he puts. Back to the boat, Captain Mark and Beth can be heard talking about how it is going to be nice being away from the boat for a while because Beth is apparently sick of smelling fishy all the time. Captain Mark, however, argues, saying that it's much better than sitting in an office. They then get to the shore, and the girl tells a boy named Freddie to be careful with arranging the nets and leaves. Mark and Beth are then sitting at a bar when Mark calls Dodie, who is Beth's aunt. It turns out Dodie fell and hurt herself, and she right now has no one to take care of her. Mark goes on to tell Beth about it, and he asks her if she knows anyone in LA who would be willing to nurse for Dodie for a few days, but Beth tells him that she does not know anyone in LA because she was there a long time ago. He then suggests she herself took care of Dodie, and she ends agreeing. While Mark gets back to his journey on the boat, Beth makes her way to LA. The scene then changes to a company that is full of journalists, and we see a female editor named Candace who is with her boss named Vern, and as they talk, Candace makes her way to a diner where Jake is waiting for her. It turns out this company loves talking scandals on celebrities, the things related to their personal lives. She goes on to give him a new assignment and tells him that she needs it done by Thursday, and he assures her that it will be done and leaves. In the meantime, Beth has gotten to Aunt Dodie and they are out shopping. Aunt Dodie has to buy some flowers for someone called Hero, and she goes on to choose orchids. As they talk, Aunt Dodie goes on to say that she is really grateful for Beth being in LA, but at the same time, she is a little surprised too. They then talk about how a boy broke Beth's heart when she used to be in LA. The scene then changes to an event where many kinds of flowers and fruits are kept, and Jake is there. He is taking pictures of the stuff out there. Beth and Dodie also get there, and Beth talks about how roses are her favorite, and Dodie says that they used to be her mother's favorite too. Beth is then looking at some beautiful roses when Jake notices her. He starts taking pictures of her, and the next thing we see, he is at his home, seeing pictures of her on his PC. Later, Beth goes on to receive a call from Mark, who asks her how she is doing there, and she tells him that they just got Dodie checked up and the doctor has told her that Dodie might be able to walk without any help in 2 weeks, so she can leave in 2 weeks if she likes. Jake goes to see Candace the next day and gives her the photos of the events. She then tells him to take care of her dog while she is in a conference, and he is happy to oblige. He takes the dog to a dog park, and Beth is also there playing with a dog. As he throws the ball for a dog, the ball hits Jake on the head, and she right away comes up to him to apologize. Jake is shocked and of course happy to see her there. She tells him that she has all kinds of breeds of dogs back home, and he asks her where she is from, at which she reveals that she is from Washington. They then introduce each other and she apologizes to him again. She leaves, but her dog named Goldie seems to be liking Jake's dog, whose name is Princess. Goldie comes running to Jake and starts playing with Princess, and Beth has to apologize to Jake again. They sit together on a bench, and she tells him that she is usually on a boat they call Maria Elizabeth, and that she is into fishing and stuff. As they talk, she asks him what he does, and he tells her that he is a freelance photographer, at which she says that he must be taking pictures of famous people while hiding in the bushes, which of course he does not deny. Both of them then reveal that they like bike riding, and he invites her to do it with him at San Vincent the next day, and she agrees after hesitating at first. They go bike riding together the next day and then go on to take a walk together. She goes on to educate him on boats, and he is really impressed by her. The scene then changes to a clothing store where we see Janice keeping an eye on a woman who puts a scarf in her bag. She is about to walk out of the door when a guy at the store stops the thief, who seems like a rich woman. She starts arguing with the guy when he tells her that he just saw her put the scarf in her purse. The scene changes to Jake and Beth, who are taking a walk, and he gets a strawberry shake for both of them. As they talk, she tells him that she loves her life at the sea because it is really magical. This is when he receives a call from Janice, who is still at the clothing store, and the drama is going on. She tells him about the shoplifter, and it turns out the shoplifter is a famous media personality named Devin. Janice tells him to get to the store right away. He tells Beth that he has to leave, and the next thing we see, the shoplifter is being dragged away by the police, and he manages to get there just in time to take some photos. Beth, in the meantime, talks to her aunt, who asks her how she has been doing in LA, and she tells her that she met someone recently. Dodie is excited to learn that, and she tells her to invite Jake over for dinner, despite the fact that everything is just so new. Dodie says that she would make her famous chowder at dinner, and Beth agrees. The next thing we know, Beth is shopping for the ingredients of the chowder with Jake, and he is happy to come over for dinner. They then go to his place, and she sees some beautiful pictures he has taken of the desert. He then goes on to teach her how to use the camera properly, and as he teaches her, the two come really close, and as they are about to kiss, Beth's phone rings, and it turns out to be Aunt Dodie. He comes over for dinner at Aunt Dodie's place and brings orchids. In the meantime, we see Candace, who is looking at the photos taken by Jake on that flower event, and she comes across the photos of Beth too, where she is smelling roses. Candace really likes those pictures and decides to use them. Back at Aunt Dodie's place, Jake really likes the chowder. As they talk about his profession, he goes on to tell them that he published a book a few years ago, but it was not successful at all. Beth says that she would like to buy that book, but he tells her that it is not there anymore. He then says that people these days find it hard to capture the beauty of whatever is in front of them, so he has now gotten into taking pictures of people and not nature, because this is what people want to see, and he can only make money through what people like to see. When Beth is taking care of the dinner table, Dodie and Jake have a moment alone, and she asks him about his intentions with Beth, and he tells Dodie that he likes Beth. She tells him that she has been hurt before, so he should not even think about messing with her, and he assures her that he has no such intentions. Dodie also tells him that Beth does not let her guard down that easily now, so he is gonna have to be patient with that too, and he understands. The next day, Beth's photo is put on the cover of a magazine and people love it. It turns out to be a hit, and when Jake learns about it, he flips out. He tells Candace that he was not supposed to have her pictures. It turns out Jake sent those pictures to Candace by mistake. He right away goes to Dodie's place to tell Beth about it, but they are not home. The scene then changes to the market where Beth and Dodie are out to shop. They come across some magazines, and Dodie notices Beth's picture on the cover. The people there recognize Beth, and all of them start taking pictures of her. She is really weirded out by that, and people even start taking selfies with her. She is pissed. She goes to the journalism company and meets Candace, telling her that they have done it without her permission, at which Candace tells her that it is perfectly legal to do that because the photo was taken at a public event. Beth tells her dad about it, and he is also pissed. The scene changes to Jake sitting at a diner with Candace, who tells him that Beth came looking for the photographer at her office, but she did not tell her who it was. She then tells Jake just to tell her the truth and leaves. She then receives a call from Claire Delodo, who wants to invite her on a big TV show. She is shocked to hear this, but her aunt tells her that she should definitely go to this show. The next thing we see, she is on the show with Claire, who goes on to ask her how she feels about having become an overnight celebrity, and she says that it is really overwhelming. After the show, she goes to see Jake and tells him that she has been receiving phone calls lately and everyone wants to invite her. Jake then gifts her a beautiful picture of her, telling her that he took it. She does not really understand the actual meaning of what he just said. She hugs him and they kiss. The next day, she meets a guy who has a bunch of offers lined up for her and wants to be her agent. He tells her that there are many ad companies looking for a fresh face and she might be that face. She meets Jake later for dinner and tells him about all that has been going on. He then cooks her dinner, which she really likes, and later takes her to a nice location which she loves. She then goes on to say that she has really started liking the city, and she now thinks that this may be the city where she belongs. She tells him that she is up to doing all the offers she is getting because she has been at sea for a long time and would like a break from that because she knows a little change is not going to hurt. She gets back home and calls her dad, tells her old man that they really want her face in all those ads, and Dodie is also thrilled about it. She meets her agent named Richie, and he tells her that he has gotten her a TV commercial at a national level. The next day, she is on the set and everything is really fancy. She starts getting overwhelmed, and later, 3 girls do makeup for her and she does not like it. It does not feel like herself, and she tells Richie that she does not want to do the ad. Jake gets there in the meantime, and this is when she gets to know from another guy that Jake is actually the one who took the picture that made her famous. He tells her that he can explain, but she leaves. The next day, she is with her Aunt Dodie, and when she tells her everything that has happened, her aunt manages to make her feel better for the moment, but she has decided that she is going to leave. She leaves the next morning, and later that night, Jake comes looking for her with flowers. Her aunt tells Jake and she had high hopes from him, but he betrayed the innocent girl. She also tells Jake that she is gone and does not want to see him again. She is back with her dad, but she is lost all the time. She does not take interest in anything on her boat. Jake is also alone at his place and does not feel like doing anything either. He keeps looking at her pictures. Mark asks Beth if she misses Jake, but she tells him that he used her. He, however, tells Beth that he cannot be all bad because he saw something beautiful in her. The next day, Dodie receives a package at her place, and it turns out to be Jake's book. She asks Jake, and Jake tells her that he did not send it. It turns out she is the one who ordered it. Dodie tells Jake to go to Washington and give this book to her, and maybe things will turn out for the best. He receives a call from Candace, who wants to see him right away. He has a meeting with Vern, who has now recognized his talent and wants to give him the recognition he deserves. He offers him some work, but Jake tells him that he needs to do something important first and leaves. He goes to the docks to see her. She is happy to see him, they get to talk, and Mark even invites Jake over for dinner. They then go on to kiss, and the next thing we know, they're back together going on a motorcycle ride. And with that, the movie comes to an end. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new movie recaps.